Joining us this morning, Titania Jordan.
Tatiana Jordan. Did I get the name right? Jordan?
Titania.
Titania. Okay. Titania.
All right. It's Titania Jordan.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. Today I'm so excited to bring you Christi Gordy of Canopy Life Academy. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor, really.
No, like honor's all here. I'm so excited. Tell everybody watching, what is Canopy Life Academy?
Sure. Canopy Life is a residential school in Nairobi, Kenya. We build exceptional leaders, and these leaders think differently, they live on purpose, they follow Christ. That's the goal.
Wow, and what are the ages of the people in Canopy Life Academy?
They're elementary school, I know.
Oh gosh.
Right now we have 5th and 6th grade, but we just started 2 years ago. So the hope is to eventually have from 4th grade, or what they call class 4, all the way up to 12th grade, which is Form 4 in the Kenyan school system.
Wow, so you're making leaders out of these Kenyan citizens.
Yes.
And so, for those of you watching who don't know, we are in Atlanta right now.
Right, not in Kenya.
A long way away from Kenya. So why Kenya?
Oh gosh. The short answer would be that I spent a few years traveling with a children's choir from Kenya. I was the tour leader, and they would come here to the States and travel for 6 months a year. We'd perform in schools and churches. And I was just radically impacted by the transformation in their lives. Between the experiences we offered and the education we were giving them, their view of themselves, their view of the world, their dreams for the future changed. And I just wanted to go deeper. I wanted to see what would happen if we had a longer experience that went deeper with them, if that could continue to change their lives. The long answer, which is probably for another day, goes all the way back to my first trip to Kenya in 2003 when I was working in the slum of Kibera, and I just noticed that there was a vast amount of business opportunity, but there wasn't a mindset of entrepreneurship. And it was a story that was very personal to me and some people that I met, and it has just been growing since then.
Wow.
Yeah.
So describe what Kenya is like for people who are just super comfortable in their air-conditioned homes and their UGG boots and their ability to like call Postmates and have food delivered and just get right on Wi-Fi and like, what's it like in Kenya?
Wow, Kenya is incredibly diverse. It's not, you can't go in with any assumptions, okay? You could be walking through the bush and meet a Maasai tribesman who's herding his goats or cattle, and he'll pull out his cell phone and, you know, probably has a Facebook page, to be honest.
That's awesome.
But you also have people who can't read and who are starving. I mean, it's such dramatic, and it's changing constantly. They've had their independence for 50 years, and over the course of that 50 plus years, they've been changing and growing rapidly. So in the urban areas like Nairobi and Mombasa, you have all of this tech stuff happening. Like there's a huge tech movement called the Silicon Savannah in Kenya that's radically changing business. But then you also have 75% of the population living in rural huts, red brick homes, pit latrines. You know, they're basically agriculturalists or pastoralists, and so you can't really pin it down at, you know, exactly because it's so dramatic depending on where you go. There's 42 tribes in Kenya, and they speak 42 different languages and are united by the national language of Swahili, and also have English as a trade language since they were colonized by the British. So it's almost impossible to summarize because it's so dramatically different depending on where you go.
When was the idea for Canopy Life Academy really solidified in your mind and heart? Like when you were like, this is what I'm going to do with this?
I don't know that there was a specific moment. It just grew over time. Like I said, the awareness of the entrepreneurial gap happened in 2003 when I was living there for 6 months. And then traveling with these kids over 3 or 4 years, I just saw so much potential, and I was like, they are the solution to this gap. And then it was sometime while we were touring, I realized that this was a purpose for me. It was a calling for me to at least take a stab at it, like see if we could help these kids realize that they're the solution to their country's issues.
So what are some of the things that you do for these 4th and 5th graders now?
5th and 6th graders.
5th and 6th graders now at Canopy Life Academy?
Sure. Well, our goal is to create a different environment where they can figure out who they are and what they're wired to do. But we focus a lot on the arts and on technology. We also really try to build a strong home environment. I know boarding school sounds really, there's a connotation in America with what that is.
Kind of
it's
cold.
not the same. Right. In Kenya, if you can send your kid to a boarding school, that means they're getting 3 meals a day. That means they're being taken care of. They have a great chance at an education. It is a little rare for them to be in elementary school. It's more common for high schoolers. But it's a great opportunity to redefine family as something that's not just about survival. So we're really trying to make our boarding experience something that a child feels a sense of belonging, where they can recognize their unique giftedness. But we also have some unique programs. One is called Discovery Academics. It's our personal take on teaching strategies. We're taking the national curriculum and trying to make it more engaging. The common school in Kenya is very memorization, rigid, testing, teaching to the test, whereas we're trying to give kids critical thinking skills. We want them to be able to ask the right questions, not just know the right answers.
Yes.
And then our Deep Roots program is a discipleship program, but it's also the arts, music, dance, drama. So like we're teaching kids like how to tap dance, you know, taping shillings to the bottom of their shoes so they can make some noise, and a little bit of ballet, exposing them to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And then our design thinking course is really, I mean, design thinking from Stanford University. It's the collaborative, community-based problem-solving method where you take students, anyone can use it, but we're teaching our students how to go through a cycle of empathy with the person they're designing for, prototyping, ideating, feedback, so they can come up with solutions. And I mean, we're testing all of this right now, but we're formulating the methodologies that we really think will transform students into entrepreneurs and innovators. Yeah, it's been a crazy ride.
Oh my gosh, I know. I've been, you know, watching the progress over the past few months that I've had the honor of knowing you, and it's just so beautiful what you're doing. You know, what's cool about putting things out on the internet is that people can rally.
Right.
You know, they can rally, they can help. So,
true.
like, tell us, what do you need?
Gosh, well, our biggest, I don't even know if I've had a chance to tell you this yet, but our biggest thing that we're taking on right now is we're ready to grow. We want to double in size in the next year. We have 24 kids from 2 tribes, about 3 communities right now, and we want to at least double in size. And we can't do that at our current facility. We've outgrown it, maxed it out. We've been renting basically a home, and we're ready to purchase land and build. So we're just starting our new campus, and we're trying to raise money by the end of the year. By some amazing gift is all I know is we're trying to raise $350,000. We have someone who's offered a matching grant of $175,000, like half. So our biggest thing we're focusing right now is inviting people into the journey to help us get across the finish line.
So cool.
Right? I didn't even know people did that until I got into this nonprofit world. But probably more specific to your viewers, we're really looking for collaborators. We have put a lot of energy in the first 2 years into our residential program, our academic program, but we're really ready to dive into what our technology and business program is going to look like. And you can't just transplant it from America over there. I want it to be Kenyan. So we want to bring great principles and teach it to the Kenyans so they can make it true to their own culture. Wow. So we need people who are tech experts, business, skill leaders, leadership experts who would be willing to advise us and give some opinions into that program. And then we're always looking for people to come visit. So we take 10-day trips that people can come on and either work with the kids or help at the campus, or like I said, help us build our programs. And we take those 3 or 4 times a year, and we're always inviting people to come with us. Right. On a smaller and more personal, intimate level, we also have like a sponsorship program where you can provide for the basic needs of a child as they go through our program. It's a monthly giving kind of program that they can find on our website if they're interested in knowing more. So lots of ways to connect.
Have you seen that GIF of somebody just throwing money out the window? Like, take all my money, just take it. Like, just take it. I just want to throw it all at you and like cover you with blessings and just take it all. You know?
I've been in the nonprofit world most of my adult career, but being the executive director of one is totally different ballpark. The
imagine.
responsibility is on you.
Yeah.
But I have been blown away in the last few years at the generosity of people. We have just such a truly generous culture and nation. And it's not just because we have a lot. I think it's just part of our culture. And it is amazing. It is amazing to see people come behind your vision, especially when it's barely a thing. You know, we're a startup. Yeah. And flying under the radar for the most part. So it is amazing. And it's amazing too to see everyone gives for a different reason, but it always is impactful to their world. Like it's just amazing to watch how it benefits them as well.
And so if people want to learn more and support, there are a bunch of ways to do that as you've outlined, but where do they go?
CanopyLife.org.
CanopyLife.org. Awesome. We will have that link in our YouTube description and direct people there. I can't wait. Like I want to keep talking to you, but like I can't wait till we're done filming so I can go like and like sponsor a child. You know, like it's just. Great. It's awesome. It's awesome, awesome, awesome.
Well, it's a little bit different than your normal sponsorship because most sponsorship programs, you're pulling a child away from starvation, you know, and that has so much value. In our case, you're building a leader that's going to pull hopefully hundreds, maybe even thousands of people away from starvation by building products and industries that will build jobs. Because there's a 42% unemployment rate in Kenya. So we're trying to raise up leaders who can create products and industries that will create jobs for people.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow,
42%.
Wow.
They're like the size of Texas, and almost half of them don't have work. So, but they're the largest industry in the largest economy in East Africa, but have the highest unemployment rate.
That's crazy.
5th highest in the world, actually.
Wow.
Isn't that nuts?
Wow.
Yeah, and it's just a weird combination of things that have happened there that's created that. It's not gross corruption, gross, indiscretion, but it's we're just trying to help them find their way out.
This is I just love whenever I get to hear about what you do, why you're doing it, the results of it. I've already asked, what do you need? How can we help?
Sure.
We're going to rally around that. But what's your vision? Like, I know you said you want to double in size, but that's short term.
Sure.
Long term, where do you see this going?
Long term, we want to launch innovators who can pioneer creative solutions for Kenya, but I think it's going to impact global, and I can explain that in a minute, but also leaders who know how to serve others with their power and their resources and ideas. So, bad scenarios, bad, that's such a general word, but it happens because leaders misuse power or misuse resources or don't know how to cultivate an idea, right? So while some schools are trying to get all their kids into college and create high-level professionals out of them, those same college students are going to hit the 42% unemployment rate, right? So whether you have a college degree or not in Kenya, you're going to get out and still be looking for a job. And what we want is whether or not our students get into college, we want them to have the skills to cultivate an idea to market, to build a successful business that can help other people, and to lead those people with courage and creativity. I mean, there's already things happening in Kenya, and I know our students are capable of taking it further. M-Pesa was a tech app that was created in, I think it was 2007. I feel like it was one of the first ones out there, and it's become a case study for Square and Venmo, all those digital payment apps. Kenya has created a solar-powered Wi-Fi device for their rural areas. Yeah. And it's being used right now for dead spots in Wisconsin. Like, there are things that are happening in Kenya that are already, you don't imagine that stuff coming out of East Africa, right? But already impacting globally. And I know our students are going to become leaders who can develop similar technologies. And Kenya's on that ramp, like, to be the technology hub for Africa. And I want our kids to dive in and be a part of that, carry it further, and be the people who make a difference for their country.
So Christi, just as you are empowering these future young leaders to help more and more people on a incremental scale, I just want to take a minute and publicly thank you, because it wouldn't be possible without you. And I know you and I both know it wouldn't be possible, without the hand of God and His influence in your life. And I'm just really, really thankful for that. You are a gift to this planet and anyone who knows you. So
thank you.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me share my story. It's such an honor, and it's been an adventure, one that has grown me as well. I often feel like I've benefited from the journey more than those we're serving, and I think anyone who gets into meaningful, purpose-driven work feels the same way. You often feel like you're the one who was blessed, and that's the ideal situation of any collaboration, right? Is that both sides feel like they were blessed more.
Yes, yes. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah, right.
No,
right.
thank you.
So that's the ideal. Yeah.
Christi Gordy, thank you so much. Thank you for coming on the show, telling your story. Y'all need to go support canopylife.org right about now.
Hey.